Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you guys want to check out my social media or check out a badass kick-ass original story, check out the links down in the description below. Hope you enjoy the video. So when Barnes & Noble had their 50% off sale, I ended up buying the movie My Own Private Idaho. This was a film that I'd wanted to check out because I haven't seen, a lot of stuff with River Phoenix in it and Keanu Reeves. I mean, I've seen stuff with him, obviously John Wick, Bill and Ted. And having those two together in a movie seemed really interesting. And I read the plot, and I was like, okay, this seems like a pretty original story. I definitely want to check it out, but I never did. And finally, I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and I picked it up, and we finally had a chance to watch it. And let's go ahead and talk about it. It's going to be a little bit of a strange review because I have a lot of things that I really did like about the film, like a lot of things. And then there was, a few things that I just couldn't really get into. So I'm going to talk about the negatives first, and then I'm going to talk about the positives because the positives definitely outweigh the negatives by a lot. One of the things that I didn't care too much about with this film, it's not the story in general, because I would say the story, but I can't really say that because, like I said, I read the description and I was like, okay, this is a pretty original story, and I love original stories. I always like to watch something new, but I think it's the pacing of the story because. They're going to these different locations in the film. They're going obviously to Idaho. They're going to the Seattle. They're in Seattle for a time. They're in Portland, and I believe Romania. And that's the part that kind of I'm not going to say anything else about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But that was the part that kind of drew me away from it. I felt like it did kind of drag during that section of the film. But it's not paced horribly. It's just I feel like at times the film just doesn't know when to stop. That can be a good thing. That can be a bad thing because I want to see these different locations. I want to see where these characters end up, but I don't know. It just certain parts I just didn't really care too much about. Like I didn't really care to see the characters in certain locations. I didn't really care to see the characters in these situations. But I really did enjoy the character dynamic. That's the only negative thing that I have to say about the film. I hope I didn't offend anybody because I know this film is a classic to some people. I mean, it's a classic to me too. But I don't know. It's just the story. I couldn't get in. I couldn't get invested into it. I couldn't get as invested as I wanted to. Now, this leads me to the positives. Now, when I said I haven't seen a lot with River Phoenix, I haven't. But he's electrifying. River Phoenix is such a terrific actor. It sucks that he died young because he's just like walking Phoenix. I mean, his brother, they're what they bring to the screen, you can tell that they get into their performances like a lot, and that's something you should definitely appreciate when watching any film with them is their performance because they're I wouldn't even just say their name, but their performance itself is enough to want me to get to watch one of their films. Like if I see anything that's got Walking Phoenix in it, yeah, that's great that Walking Phoenix is in it, but I also get his performance. And that's kind of how I'm feeling with River Phoenix right now. I kind of want to check out more of his stuff because he doesn't miss a beat in this. And I'm going to go as far as saying Keanu Reeves doesn't miss a beat either. Now, Bill and Ted is not that serious, so I can't really say too much about that. And John Wick, I mean, he doesn't really say much in John Wick to begin with. But Keanu Reeves killed it in this film. I mean, he absolutely demolishes this role. And having River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves together just makes it that much better. Like, I loved every scene that they were in together. It's just they work off each other so well. I enjoyed seeing them pop up every single time. It just they're what made this film. They made this film, and it's just seriously like the campfire scene with River Phoenix. It reminded me so much of the campfire scene in Stand By Me, because that was another movie that had River Phoenix in it. And Stand By Me used to be one of my favorite films of all time. It used to be my favorite film of all time for a period of time. And that campfire scene just brought back memories, especially from Stand By Me. Another thing that I want to talk about is it's the ending. Now, I found out, which I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but the final scene, there's something to dig into whenever it comes to the final scene of this film. But that's the great thing about the final scene, is having something to dig into. But apparently the question is answered in the screenplay, which I don't really like at all, because I like not knowing. Because I think if you don't know what's going on in the final scene, I think the final scene is absolutely brilliant, like masterful, fantastic. It's so good. And that actually, after I watched the ending, it did bring up a discussion. And sometimes I think bringing up a discussion is more important than entertaining someone. Because, yeah, you can sit there and you can watch a good film all day, but I mean, if you watch a good film and you go home and you forget about it, hey, was it really that good? I mean, yeah, probably. But starting a discussion and having something to think about, I think that's more important, because it makes the film stick with you and you think about the film more, and it makes you want to watch the film more. But My Own Private Idaho, it's a solid film. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I'm going to give it a 7. It's a good film. Like I said, I did have my issues with it, but overall, if you're looking for great performances and you're looking for Keanu Reeves and River Phoenix together in a film, definitely check it out. It's worth your time. You can get it on Criterion. Love me my Criterions. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, leave a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.